there, my name's Andy Young. I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitec, Auckland, New Zealand. And on this really short basic skills video, I'm going to show you how to test the swing arm bearings on a motorcycle. Now those are the bearings that connect the rear swing arm to the frame. In there's probably some needle roller bearings or some taper roller bearings depending on the kind of bike that it is and who made it. And what you'll need to do is to get your bike jacked up. You need to get the rear wheel airborne. Now if you've got a paddock stand, that's great. If you've got a trolley jack and a mate, maybe you can jack it up on the trolley jack and get your mate to hold the bike while you do the test. So like I said before, you need to jack the rear wheel up off the ground so it's completely airborne. There we go. And there's a really easy way of doing this, and that is you need to watch the chain. Now if the chain at the moment has quite a bit of slack in it, when I pull the rear wheel towards me, holding onto the frame, if that chain changes tension, then we know there's some movement in the swing arm bearings. You can also put your hand, another good trick is to put a finger or between the frame and the swing arm itself, and you'll be able to feel movement. So again, if I pull the swing arm towards me, now nothing there, give it a tap, pretty good. In actual fact, this doesn't have any at all. Whilst you're on, you can also check all the bushes for your suspension. So at the moment your wheel's hanging down, and if you get hold of the swing arm and just lift it up, oh, that's alright, there's hardly any there, that's good. And if you feel a knock, then that's going to be one of the bushes in the ProLink suspension has failed. There's a bit of play in it, and then you can get someone to go around and just check with the fingers to feel where the movement is, because there's quite a few bushes down there and it's very, very hard to spot it yourself whilst you're moving the wheel up and down. You could always use a heel bar under the wheel if you wanted, a small crowbar, and that will get you a bit nearer to the linkage, and then you could test it. In fact, let's do that. Okay, so we put the heel bar under the wheel. That's going to give us that lift that we need, and then we can see where that play is. Like I said, there's quite a few linkages down there. Okay, the play that we've got, which is absolutely minute, is where the dog bone, that's this long piece here, connects onto the frame of the bike. And I'll just get the camera repositioned so you can maybe see that. Okay, so you're looking up at, this is the rear suspension lower linkage, and this bar here, this one is called the dog bone. And if you're lowering your bike, if your legs are a bit short, then, if the seat height's too high, and there's not sufficient adjustment on the rear shock, then you can actually replace these dog bones for longer or shorter ones, which will make the suspension a different height for you. Now the play that I was seeing earlier on, or feeling really, was in the bush just here. And it's really quite insignificant. It's not a major amount. So you just put your finger between the two components, one of which is obviously the frame and one is the bar. And I'm just going to run the heel bar up and down. Yeah, it's tiny. You might just see it moving forwards and backwards. It's tiny. It's not a warrant fail. It's probably about 1/4 mil movement. It's just not enough to fail the WOF. Checking all the other ones. All the rest are fine. And it's quite often this one that does go. And sometimes the shock itself, the bush that connects to the rear shock at the bottom, that's quite common to fail as well. So we've got a bush here, bush here, bush here, and a bush there. There's 4 lots of bearings or bushes going on. We do have on one of them a grease nipple, so we can grease that up. So there you go. That really was a short video, just one of the basic skills videos. We covered 2 things actually in this video. We covered how to check rear swing arm bearings for play. That was the first bit where I was holding the tyre and pulling it towards me, forwards and backwards, or side to side on the frame, holding the frame, and I had one of my fingers, or I think it was my thumb, between the swing arm and the frame. And I was also watching the drive chain. If the drive chain looks like it's getting tighter, And then slacker again, that's again a telltale sign there's some play on that big bearing that runs across or joins the swing arm to the frame of the bike. Now, whilst we were on, we also checked the rear suspension lower linkage bushes, and there were 4 separate bushes in there, and there was no play on 3 of them, and there was a minute amount of play on the dog bone to the frame bush. It's not a warrant fail at the moment. If it gets to about, well, if it doubles to what it is now, it's only just noticeable at the moment. If it gets much more, then it will be a fail, and obviously what I can do is order a kit in and get that done before its next warrant. I think it's got about another 6 months to go, so we can get that sorted out. It's important not to leave those kind of things too late. Not only will they fail the warrant, but you can also cause damage to the bolts that go through those bushes if you leave them too long, and then you've got to buy all new bolts and stuff as well, which is a bit of a pain. And things get a bit expensive as well. Especially with KTM, you've got to wait a while for delivery because it comes from Europe. Okay, if you found that video helpful, then why not subscribe to the channel? That way you get some notifications come through as and when new videos get uploaded, and there's usually a few every week going up there now. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down the bottom and I'll do my very best to get back to you as soon as I can. And well, that's at the end of another video. Thank you for watching. My name's Andy Young. I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitec in Auckland, New Zealand. Cheers for now. Over and out.